Well, here we are after 155 games, and the Atlanta Braves have caught the New York Mets. The Mets have been in first place for all but 2 days this year, and of course had a 10.5 game lead back on May the 31st. But since then, the Braves have been playing unbelievable baseball, some of the best in the history of the team. And now the last 7 games in the last week will determine who will win the National League Eastern Division. Now, both teams are already in the playoffs. We know that, but there is pride with the division. Not only that, but of course, there's a little bit of an advantage when it comes to postseason. You don't have to play an extra round. You can actually wait and get a little rest before your series starts. The loser of the division race between the Braves and the Mets will have to play next weekend and host a team that will be the wild card team of the wild card team. But for the most part, this is all about winning the division. The Braves have won it 4 straight years, and we know from the history of the Braves winning 14 in a row back during a 15-year stretch from 1991 to 2005 that there is great pride in winning the division. But especially for this team, especially knowing that they've won it 4 straight times already from the last couple of years, and the story of what's happened this year. Now, last year we had unbelievable injuries, unbelievable changes to the roster with the trades that brought in Jock Peterson and Jorge Soler and Eddie Rosario. But this year, this is a much different team as well. Of course, there's a new first baseman, but there's also new players who were not part of last year's team that in a way make this year's team different. Michael Harris is at the top of that list. Of course, he came up in late May, and not too long after that, the Braves got rocking and rolling. Also, Spencer Strider, who's also one of the top candidates for the Rookie of the Year, and hopefully he'll be back healthy in the month of October. But there's just a different element of this team. There's a different feel to it. Of course, Ronald Acuna is a big part of that because he wasn't on the team last year when they won the World Series, and he seems like he's getting hot a little bit at the plate. Marcell Ozuna even is doing very well in the month of September. So this is a different team here. And with Ian Anderson not being in the rotation and hopefully Spencer Strider back, and with Kyle Wright being a 20-game winner this year, yes, this is the defending champion here, but it's also a different roster, one that might be even better than what they had a year ago. We know the rotation is better than it was last year. I mean, remember, the Braves had to use 2 bullpen games during the World Series after Charlie Morton got hurt. So the rotation, especially if Spencer Strider can get back, is much, much better. It's all about this offense. It's all about whether or not this offense can hit, especially against the good pitching that it will see this weekend against the Mets and in the playoffs. If that can happen, and if they can perform like they have the last couple of games, the Braves are going to be tough to beat. But we are getting ready for the biggest regular season series in Atlanta Braves history. I've been watching this team since I was 8 years old in 1978, and I've gone back and looked and tried to find if there has ever been a series this late in the season that was this important. Now, there were other series, 2011 against the Phillies, where the Braves had to win to be able to get in. They didn't that year. There were other series that were earlier in September, like in 1991 against the Dodgers, 1993 against the Giants, but not this late. I mean, we're talking about 2 teams, the Braves, the Mets, who are going to win over 100 games and are fighting for the division. And they're going to play this weekend in what will be unbelievable. It's what a pennant race is all about. And if the Braves take care of their business in front of a packed house at Truist Park each and every night, they may actually win the division.